So we had a chance to kind of hang out with you earlier today, really listen and hear about Serenova. For those at home, can you tell us a little bit about what Serenova does?
Absolutely. Serenova is a contact center platform that's built to be simple. It's built to be accessible from anywhere. It uses just standard internet connectivity, uses web browsers. It's made to be pretty easy to plug into a customer's existing contact center. So if you're used to seeing contact center solutions that take a little bit of technical work to get going, we like to kind of get customers just right into the deep end, just kind of get their contact centers up and rolling quickly and efficiently.
So what are some of the key differentiators for Serenova out in the market today?
Absolutely. Serenova has particular strengths when it comes to being able to scale really as large as you'd ever want to be. Sometimes contact centers don't stay the same size all the time. Sometimes they have seasonality. We are very flexible on how customers can kind of grow up and grow down. We're very flexible when a customer wants to go anywhere in the world. We are basically just a software platform existing everywhere at once. So if a customer has a couple of sites in, say, Europe, and has a couple sites in, say, Asia, and then wants to have most of their contact center out of the US, we're a great way that they can kind of do so through one interface. They can all see the same queues, run the same reports, have the same access everywhere. The other thing that we do that's a strong differentiator is we're really willing to just jump in and engage with our customers, right? So it's something where we don't have a lot of rules in place on what makes a good or a bad, customer, or a good or a bad fit. We kind of work with all customers, and we're really happy to let our technology kind of prove itself to a customer. So if they want to kind of try it before they buy it, that's something we're oftentimes pretty happy to work with.
Call centers bring a lot of efficiencies into a business. Can you talk me to some of the business drivers, if you will, for contact centers, and specifically the Serenova solution, and how it can help teams gain those efficiencies?
Yeah, and the efficiencies from Serenova's CX Engage solution focus a lot on how we can take information from a customer's site. How many organizations do you work with nowadays that have, CRMs, Salesforce, Zendesk, and they can sometimes find that to embrace those solutions, their contact center systems are just a little behind the times. They're running on premise, they're large, they're bulky to use. So what we can kind of help with those organizations is to take information from Salesforce, from Zendesk, help them route interactions more efficiently. Give customers more ways to talk. If the queue is too backed up, maybe there's an option to call the customer back. Things like that. So what we try to do really is to increase customer satisfaction by giving more options, making things more efficient.
What are some of the emerging trends that you're seeing today that Serenova can really help out with?
So one of the things we're noticing is that companies don't just work on computers and PCs anymore. They want to have lots of different kinds of devices they use. I have organizations that just run completely off of Chromebooks, just not even full Windows, not even full Mac. Organizations that already have a lot of investment in other kinds of web architecture. They've got online services, integrations like Trello or other kinds of processes where we can kind of jump right in and talk natively application to application for them. Another thing that we've done on the Serenova side is we have made sure that our application from the agent's point of view can change and reconfigure to meet different needs. So what one customer might see inside Salesforce can be expressed differently for Zendesk, can be expressed differently for a customer who wants to have a full-on desktop, but do so just inside the web. No need to install anything. And that's another huge curve for a lot of customers nowadays, is the whole act of installing things just is not necessary anymore. So we like to embrace those use cases.
Tell me a little bit about the duality of Serenova. I saw a lot out there today. It seems like a very easy to use and intuitive tool, but at the same time, very powerful in the back end. And that's an interesting approach. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
I'm so glad you saw that, because that was an intentional choice for us. A lot of what you saw inside the platform was graphical tools for creating call flows. That doesn't have to be programming code. We can just drop a call flow natively into the application using graphical tools. But at the same time, if we can't express that functionality for interesting integrations, right, then it's not very helpful. So we have tools that can add on to the graphical interface that let us configure specific routes, look for important callers, maybe deprioritize less important callers. It kind of goes both ways. And we also like to express our functionality as in what we call an API first provider, which means that if there's something that you want to do, or your customer wants to do, you don't necessarily have to come to us to do an interesting integration to a provider. The tools exist for you to do it on your own. And when we create our own interfaces, we like to make sure that the tools we use to create our interfaces are the same tools you can have to create your interfaces, or your customer to create their interfaces. We try to, sometimes we call it eating your own dog food. So.
Perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
So tackling a call center project is quite the beast. And speaking with clients out there today, it's a big fear of theirs of what is this all going to take? How much work are they going to have to do?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even know how it's running themselves. They put so much duct tape on it that they're just glad that it runs every day. So can you talk to me a little bit about how Serenova is helping calm some of those worries out in the market with these large projects that are seemingly tied to every corner of a business?
Yeah, I think the most important strategy is to make sure that you meet the customer where they have the greatest need. We can start with one team. We can start with one group. That can be the group that has the current need for their project. We can go in and carefully test everything and make sure that one group has a good experience and just build on a story of success. That's a very common approach. Another thing that we can do is we can separate the contact center software on the CX Engage side from Serenova, so that we have different groups using different parts of the system. They don't have to interfere with each other. They don't always even have to agree on how they want to use the system. I can put different groups into different parts of the system, but the organization, at the end of the day, can see all those groups from a single unified instance. So it's kind of a nice way of allowing a customer, again, to kind of start this on many different tacks. And the most important part, from our point of view at Serenova, is strong partners, good advice and good coaching to make sure that customers ask the right questions of their own people, that think about success and what success means for them. And then we use good relationships with our partner to help drive those questions forward, to help our team to kind of be a good overall proxy between both organizations.
That's a really interesting mix. I really like that approach where you can sort of silo the departments that want to be siloed, but at the end of the day, you can still tie them all into one unified platform. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of organizations that do that. So many of the contact center providers in the market right now, a partition is hard. Once the partition's up, you can never cross those areas. And so that's something we were also very intentional about fixing.
So Symplicity Communications is a technology-neutral advisor to our clients all across the state of Michigan, the nation, and even internationally. What value does Serenova see in working with organizations like ourselves?
Well, there's tremendous value because there's no contact center in the world that doesn't have some interesting twist, some little or thing they do that not all other contact centers do. And that makes every contact center essentially unique. So a partner like Symplicity is a great option to ask good questions, to coach a customer down paths of success. And from our point of view, most importantly, to know that when a customer needs a solution maybe we don't have in-house, then there's always a lot of options that a partner like Symplicity can offer. So it's a great partnership, and especially when you get the right questions answered, you have an opportunity to share your successful strategies with your customers and then help us to succeed by enabling you and your customer.
I love that answer, and that's really what we try to do out in the market is work with our providers and work with our clients to help find that happy medium and really what's going to allow both parties to succeed at the end of the day.